Hey everybody, this is Josh, and welcome to the Landlord Harassment Channel. And this is going to be a health video today, but I am going to try something a little bit different today. I have shied away from this because I don't necessarily like this style of making videos, but YouTube apparently does. So I'm going to do me a top 5 list today. And my top 5 list is, I'm calling it top 5 health derailments. What that means is the top 5 things that will derail you on your journey to a healthier body. For those of you who are trying to lose weight or get healthier in other ways, and so on and so forth. So I come up with a top 5 list that I believe that is pretty accurate. Some of you might not agree, but from my own experience, this seems to be the top 5 things that tend to derail people on their journey to a better body, better health, so on and so forth. Okay, so with that, let's start out. Number 5, procrastination. Now, I'm not even talking about the procrastination that keeps you from starting a diet and health journey in the first place. This is for people who are already on that journey. I'm talking about the procrastination that keeps you from taking the next step when you're already on a health journey. A lot of people will change their diet, start eating healthier, eating more fruits, less candy bars, more plain beef instead of, McDonald's food, and so on and so forth. But they'll keep putting off the exercise part of their health journey. They'll keep saying, I want to start doing some push-ups, or I want to at least start a walking routine, but I just can't find the time. Maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe when summer comes around, so on and so forth. All right. What generally happens in those situations is that summer never really comes. Because when summer does get here, you're still making excuses to put it off another month. Then what happens is you give up on your diets altogether, and you just fall back right into eating and living the same way you were living before. So that's not good. Number 4, I've talked about this a lot in my other videos, preservatives and additives. Okay? Preservatives and additives are actually your number 1 enemy on your road to good health. But I placed them at number 4 here. But most all food was healthy before food got corporatized, before corporations started taking over the food production business. Because when corporations started taking over the food production business, they started creating chemicals, additives, and preservatives to put into the foods they sell at the grocery store to make sure that they would last longer. This is why bread, which used to last 3 days, now lasts 2 weeks. And so, 60, 70% of, even 80% of food out there is loaded with preservatives and additives now, even stuff that would otherwise be healthy. So, preservatives and additives are the cause of almost every man-made health infliction out there. Now, it doesn't account for everything. There are some viruses, some diseases that no amount of healthy eating is going to stop, right? There's certain cancers and, there's stuff. But most of the cancers and the health ailments that we have and the heart problems we have, especially here in America, are just due to the fact that we consume so many preservatives and additives, and our bodies were not meant to consume those things. Now, number 3, this is the number 3 thing that will most derail your health journey. And that's these low diets. What I'm talking about is the low carb diet, the low salt diet, the low fat diet, and on and on and on. Keto and all that. Now, those diets will lose you some weight, and maybe even a significant amount of weight, for a short period of time. But you're really hurting your body. Because no matter what the health industry tells you, and no matter what the medical industry tells you, your body needs carbs. Carbs are good for you. Your body needs salt. Salt is good for you. Your body needs fat. Fat is good for you. So when you buy these like low fat, low salt, low carb, veggie burgers from, whatever grocery store you buy them from, they're actually worse for you than the McDonald's burgers because they've taken the fat or the salt or the carbs out of those burgers. And so now you've got a burger that has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. At least when you go to McDonald's, you're getting the actual fat. The fat and the salt and the carbs are the only redeeming thing on those burgers. You need those things. It's everything else about those burgers and chips and stuff like that you don't need. So the low carb, low salt, low anything diet is a scam. It's not real. If people just got preservatives and additives out of their life, the medical industry and even a lot of the health guru industry would probably crumble within a year or two. I mean, it's just preservatives and additives and this whole, the industry knows that this is preservatives and additives doing this to people. But they keep pushing low carb, low salt, low fat because they know you'll lose a little bit of weight on those low carb diets, those low salt diets, and they know you'll feel better about yourself. So you'll start believing them. But really, you're depriving your body of stuff it needs. And you're going to end up giving up on those diets and eating the same way you ever did before because eventually you're going to realize that the foods you're eating are just a generic version of the foods you were eating before. And it's going to click in your head, I might as well just eat the real thing. And there you go. You're falling right back into your old ways. Now, here is the number 2. And I'm firm about this being the number 2 reason that will derail anybody who's on a health and diet journey. And the number 2 biggest derailment for your health and diet journey is your friends. Now, this is especially true if you're young. I live in Ames. It's a college town. About 80% of the people that live here are under the age of 24. And people that age, what are they doing with their free time? Most of the time, they're hanging out with their friends if they've got free time. They're going to parties or they're going to restaurants. What are you eating at those restaurants? Nothing healthy 99 times out of 10. A greasy burrito, some pizza, stuff like that. And even when you're like at a friend's house and you got a bunch of friends over, let's say you're in a sorority, it's Friday night, you're having maybe a little bit of a party. What are you eating over there? The same stuff. Somebody's ordering pizza, ordering some kind of takeout, and you're eating very unhealthy stuff. So hanging out with your friends when you're on a health journey can be a serious derailment to your health issues. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't hang out with your friends, but if you're going to hang out with your friends, especially on a regular basis, you just have to be conscious of the fact that you can't be eating the stuff they're eating when it comes time to eat. You got to eat your own stuff and eat your own way. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll fall into their habits really quick and you'll derail yourself really quick if you don't. So you have to draw a hard line in the sand there, especially if you're hanging with your friends. I mean, it's fine if it's like once or twice a month. But if you're hanging with your friends on like 3-4 times a week, like a lot of college people do, you know what you're going to be eating when you're hanging with them. You've got to force yourself not to eat that stuff. Bring your own food. Do whatever you got to do to stay on your health journey. Don't fall into the eating habits that are so easy to fall into when you're young and you've got this big social life and you're always going out. That's the number 2 thing. Now, the number 1 thing, and this is a number 1. I will never change this. These other things can be moved around a little bit. But the number 1 thing that will derail your health, derail you on your journey to good health from bad health, whether it's weight loss or anything else, is your patience or your lack thereof. See, it's not that hard to eat healthy once you're used to it. Once you're 3 weeks, a month and a half into it, it just becomes habit. So it's really not that hard to choose the right foods to buy and eat the right foods on a daily basis. After a while, your strong urges to go get a burger from McDonald's do go away. So then what derails people? What sets people back? What makes people who have been on a health and diet journey for a while fall back into an unhealthy lifestyle. It's their lack of patience. See, what happens is you're on a health journey for a specific amount of time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever it is. And for one reason or another, you're not where you want to be. You haven't lost as much weight as you thought you would have lost by now. Your skin hasn't cleared up as much as you thought it would have by now. In the meantime, you're seeing other people on the same diet journey and their skin's already cleared up, and they haven't even been on it as long as you have. They've already reached their ideal weight, and they've only been doing this for 3 months while you've been doing this for over a year, and you're nowhere near your ideal weight yet. That's the stuff right there that tells you that gets people to fall off the wagon, because people start thinking and they start getting depressed. And they might be able to fight off those thoughts for a while, but eventually they're like, man, I've got some improvement here, but I'm not really getting anywhere. And then you start convincing yourself that you're never going to get there. And then you start thinking stuff like, man, I'm depressed. I need a pizza. I need some ice cream. I need something. That's how people fall back into that is the number one way people fall back into an unhealthy diet after having lived an unhealthy lifestyle for a while. The lack of patience. You have to have patience. And listen, I know what it is to be frustrated and to want to lose patience, because I have a very slow metabolism. That's part of why I got so heavy in the first place. I actually didn't eat all that much. I mean, I ate too much, but I didn't eat any more than really the average American. My calorie intake now is pretty much the same as it was when I was eating unhealthy. But I have a very slow metabolism. I probably have a thyroid issue that I've never got checked out. I don't know. But I can gain sometimes as much as 50, maybe even 60 pounds in a single month. I've done it before, without eating any more than the average American. Where the average American will gain 10 pounds in a month, me eating the same diet, I could gain 30. And it works that way, the opposite way too. I am almost 2 years into my diet journey now, my health journey. On May 2nd, it'll be 2 years. That's a month and a half from now. Most people, when they're this far into their diet journey, have already lost all the weight they need to lose. Me, I'm just barely halfway there because of my slow metabolism. And so if anybody has the excuse, could make an excuse to get frustrated and to go back off their diet, it's me. But I don't do that because I know that this is a journey, and I know it's a long journey, and you just have to have your mind prepared for a long journey when you're embarking on a health journey. Okay? But there's my top 5 list, okay? The number one, procrastination, that's an obvious one. Preservatives and additives, where you eat these diet foods that you think are healthy but are really not, because they have the same preservatives and additives in them as the foods you were eating before anyway. Number 3, these low carb, low salt, low fat diets, they'll derail you fast because they're not healthy in the first place. And eventually you get sick of them and just go back to eating what you were eating before. Number 2, your friends. This is especially true when you're young, when you're under the age of 24 or 25, and you're hanging out with your friends on a near daily basis. I mean, you're always being invited to unhealthy places to eat when you're that age. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big one. And finally, just the lack of patience. You have to have patience. You have to understand that you might not even be able to see the end of your journey from the beginning of it, or even from the middle of it. And you have to have the patience to keep going anyway. And the way you get through that, when you don't know where the end is, because I don't know where the end is. I have no idea when I'm going to hit my ideal weight because my metabolism is so slow. It could take 3-4 years. So what I do to counteract that is I enjoy the victories that I gain along the way, these small victories, when I lose 6 more pounds in a month, that's a victory for me. Um, when I look back and I look at my face and I see my skin is clearer than it was 2 months ago, that's a victory for me. So there's all kinds of ways you can keep your patience going. You got to pat yourself on the back for a while, once in a while, when you're on a journey like this, to remind yourself that you're doing well. Otherwise, you might lose patience. But that's how you keep your patience, right? And that's something I'll get into in another video. But that's the number one thing that derails your health journey is patience. Now, got an announcement to make. I have a new YouTube channel where I'm going to be talking more specifically about health and health issues. It's called Nap by JJ. I'm probably going to post this very video over there later on. And from now on, that's where I'm going to be posting the majority of my my health and diet related videos. So go give me a sub over there. I would sure appreciate it. I feel like I'm onto something with this health journey. I feel like I can help others maybe reach their health goals. I've got a long way to go to reach mine. I'm still 360 pounds. But I have lost 140 pounds. And sometimes you just, if you're on a diet and health journey, your trainers are fine to talk to, right? Like when you go to the gym and your trainer who's already got a great body is motivating you to do better. That's great. You need that. But sometimes you want to hear from somebody who's still on the journey with you. And that's where I come in. Because I'm still on the journey and I still got a long way to go, but I'm having success along the way. So I believe I can help others in my situation. Now, YouTube channel is going to be called Nat by JJ. I'm going to link it in the description below. And go give me a sub over there. That's all for today, guys. Bye.